Ethereum prices have been jumping over the last week following one of the blockchain's last tests before the merge. Its move from proof of work to proof of stake in August has got everyone watching. Does it mean, though, a change in the definition of the blockchain and potentially its oversight as well? Let's get more from Annabelle Huang, managing partner of Amber Group. Annabelle, listen, let's talk about Vitalik Buterin, the Ethereum co-founder. Pretty vocal on Twitter last week about some of the technical definitions around whether or not Ethereum will now become a security. Do you think that debate is relevant? Do you think it's one that's been settled yet?
I would say the responses are technically definitely spicy, and it's interesting to see Vitalik taking a very, I would say, a very public stance on this. But I think, and I'm not a technical person myself, so I think technical debates aside, we are not extremely worried about regulation. I would say I think it's pretty clear, at least from the US perspective, where it's going. And I think the rest of the world, a lot of them will look to the US SEC definition of Bitcoin majors and maybe the other altcoins. And I think we are just closely monitoring where this is going. And I think all the participants in the market are used to changes at this point. So we'll just do what's necessary if there are changes coming forward.
Annabelle, let's talk quickly about Celsius. It's been trying to repay some of its loans in order to get access to collateral ahead of its bankruptcy filing. In particular, that includes collateral in staked ETH. Are there any concerns in the market, do you think, about Celsius potentially trying to unwind this position once the merge happens?
I think it's interesting. Some of the clients I speak to are actually looking for further depeg so they can actually buy staked ETH at a lower price, and they don't mind the lockup. They know that they will be able to get one-to-one back to ETH once merge happens. So I think that's not too much of a concern. The only concern is people who need liquidity right now cannot afford to wait and would need to sell at a discount, which would be unfortunate.
And in terms of the risks then ahead of the merge and the risks afterwards, obviously the timing probably not what everyone had imagined when Ethereum decided on this move to POS. Do you see any risks emanating from everything that is happening right now in terms of contagion moving into the merge?
First of all, I think people are probably more used to the delays at this point than not. And I think a lot of what's happening in the market, contagion happening in the market, is more sort of off-chain than on-chain activities. And I think hopefully we're coming to an end, and then everything will settle soon. And a lot of the sort of macro-driven conditions that are not specific to Ethereum at all, if anything, merge could be a positive catalyst, or maybe we'll see a little bit of decoupling from crypto versus the rest of risk assets.
All right, thanks a lot for that, Annabelle. That was Annabelle Huang, managing partner of Amber Group.